Hey guys, Deathletter Magic here, and yeah, we're making a third video on this because people are still spreading misinformation. So here's Mental Misstep Should Be Unbanned, Comment Comeback Edition. Absolutely all things considered, I would say it seems about 75% of people get it and 25% of people still don't get it. So I'm going to try to put the complaints and the counter points, I guess, into categories because I read all 200 and some comments, deleted quite a few of them, and banned about 50 of you from my comment section. So, all right, number one, Des, you don't know what it was like when this was in blah 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 tournament. When it was in Modern, which other people were saying it never was in Modern. I don't care, and I don't care to look it up. I don't know, and I don't care, because Modern was completely different back then. Everything was different back then, okay? Modern, especially in the last 6 months, has changed so drastically, and what people are playing has changed so drastically. To compare it to that, like, I get it. Like, people are following the logical progression of it was legal, and then it was bad and everybody hated it, to the point where they had to ban it, so if they unbanned it, it would be bad. Well, besides the fact that that's not how it works, people are playing completely different stuff these days. I mean, I can't stress that enough. Second complaint, but it gives everybody a counterspell in every color. Yes, Phyrexian mana is broken and it never should have been a thing ever. It was honestly the worst invention in the history of Magic. Nothing even comes close to Phyrexian mana on the stupid idea brokenometer. But it gives everybody a spell that stops one specific type of spell. Okay, it does not, quote, give everyone a counterspell. If it did, they would be able to counterspell anything. That's a true counterspell. It can only stop a 1-cost spell, not a 0-cost, not a 2-cost, not a 3-cost, not a 4-cost. And 2 and 3-cost cards are what commonly win Modern, okay? If there was a 1-cost card that just dominated Modern and just single-handedly won the game, they would have banned it. And actually, like, they kind of did. Well, then they brought Wild Nacatl back, but honestly, the thing still has to swing 7 times. Okay, and that's point number 3. People are saying it would stop, and then they just like literally paste in like 1,200 cards that are legal in Modern that cost 1. Yeah, because all 1,200 of those are played heavily. But the ones that people have been pointing out are stupid shit, like Lightning Bolt, Path to Exile. Like, they don't win you the game. Those cards don't win you anything. Scenarios can pop up where you need to Path to Exile something in order to stop yourself from losing on the next turn, but that's so narrow, and then at that point they have to have Mental Misstep and have also not used it. So let's put that one out there. Oh, people would always use it. Everybody would use it. Everybody would have it, and it would be played in every deck and all the time. No, it'll show up in your opening hand 40 to 44% of the time, and in the typical game with no scry and draw assistance, less than 60% of the time. So you'll see it about every other game. Here's an easy one. People said, oh, it'll be an automatic include in every deck. Everybody will run it. Okay, so everybody has 4 extraneous cards that they can take out of their highly optimized, tight, flawless Modern deck. They could just take 4 cards and just toss them for this, and then just cross their fingers and hope that their opponent is playing something important that costs 1. Sure, yeah, sure. Those decks are super loose. You can just put anything in them and it won't affect its winnability. Just pull 4 of any card. Who cares? No, you can't do that. But this later, it'll stop Lightning Bolt, and it'll stop Serum Visions, and it'll stop Path to Exile, and it'll stop this and this and this and this. Just a long list of cards that who gives a shit if you counter them. Who would actually lose a game because I counterspelled their Serum Visions? Oh no, I counterspelled your Lightning Bolt that was going to kill my Goblin Guide. Oh boy, I just won the game because of it. No, I fucking didn't. And here's a really important point, especially in that case. It's not free. The definition of a free spell is either 1, it costs 0, or 2, it replaces itself. So that it's like free could also mean cantrip in that you get a card back in its place. Both of those are considered free just in different ways. This is neither of those because you have to pay 2 life. And losing 2 life against a deck that does 20 damage at once, or it goes infinite, or the combo goes off and you take 50 damage, it doesn't matter. Does not make a damn ounce of difference. But against Burn, you just hit yourself for 2? Are you kidding me? Like, that's huge. You could lose an entire turn sooner. You could literally lose the entire game because you did 2 damage to yourself. Now, usually you'd be shutting down something like Goblin Guide. Now, if you took 2 damage to stop a 3 damage Lightning Bolt, then you're an idiot. Now, also, people were saying, but what about this? Like, what about this scenario? Then it would be broken. What about this scenario? And they're throwing out things that would happen, like, 1% of the time. Like, it's these ridiculously out there scenarios that mathematically are almost impossible to happen. Oh, you could mental misstep their mental misstep. Okay, there's about an 18% chance of that happening. I'm not even 100% sure that that's how Phyrexian mana works, because wouldn't it go on the stack as a 0 cost? Like, because you literally did not pay 1 for it? I don't know. Maybe it does work that way, because, like, Phyrexian is considered... I don't know. I didn't play when Phyrexian was legal. The probability, just the sheer probability in the first place of both players having one in their hand at the same time and having not already used it is realistically probably under 5%. And that's if both people were able to kick 4 cards out of their deck without affecting its win rate. Good luck. Okay, Death Shadow. Everybody got their undies in a bundle that this will beat Death Shadow. Great. If that deck's that fragile that if you can lose a Death Shadow and just your hopes of winning went down the toilet, you have no backup win condition, now you can't win because Death Shadow left play, well, then I guess we're going to have to get rid of Fatal Push and Thoughtseize and Terminate and Path to Exile. And like, if you rely on a Death Shadow being on the battlefield for 4 turns without anybody fucking with it, you're an idiot. Like, if your deck is that much of a one-trick pony, you're fucked. The way I understand it, most people play that with, like Tarmogoyf and, like, Hazoret and, like, other shit. I've seen Liliana on some of those deck lists. I mean, there's a million different ways to build it, but it has other ways of winning, depending upon how you build it. I have seen also all-in Death Shadow. I've seen both. Okay, people play both. They play the one where if Death Shadow leaves play, they're screwed, or if they don't pull it in the first place, they're screwed. And it's just like scry draw into it. And then I've seen the one where it's like, okay, Death Shadow is a cool card in it, but it has other ways of winning. I've seen both. They both exist. But okay, wow, you found one example. And people are like, Wild Nakatl. I can't win the game without Wild Nakatl. Yes, you can. Okay, you can do that. Okay, if I'm at 20 and I don't hit myself with a Shockland, Painland, or Fetchland, let's see. It does 3 damage, it doesn't have haste. So you'd have to get 7 turns plus the one it came out. 8 turns in to win the game with Wild Nakatl solely. So if I remove it from play, I sure hope you had something else to hit me with, because who plays an all-in Wild Nakatl deck? I've never even heard of that. And you, when I take my turn 1 and drop somewhere between something and nothing onto the battlefield other than a land, and then you go back to yours and you can swing for 3, ooh, a little bit of a 1-turn advantage there. And that's the whole fucking point of Mental Misstep, is it stops this turn 1, turn 2 shit, okay? It makes you earn it. It's not just, I got to go first, I'm a turn ahead of you, because of that I'm going to win on turn 4. That is what they stated they're trying to get rid of. They want more interactivity, higher, like longer games, higher mana curve, more realistic playability of 3, 4, and 5 cost spells. That is what Wizards said will make the game healthy, worth watching, and worth playing, okay? I completely agree. Mental Misstep on turn 4 is not quite as good as Mental Misstep on turn 0, 1, and 2, okay? If you try to do something and then I undo it with Mental Misstep, cool, now we can play. We can actually play a damn game of Magic instead of me just getting run over on turn 4. Let me just say in general, has anybody ever heard of a card called Spell Pierce? Oh, a lot of people complained about Spell Pierce ruining the game, and that can target more than just things that cost 1. Okay, it costs 1, and it's blue, and it's not 2 life. Okay, slight difference, but still, if you're playing the card, you're shutting down somebody's early game whatever. Honestly, Mental Misstep, I'd put it as less useful than Spell Pierce because of just the narrowness of what it can target. So you just look at the list and people are like, oh, it'll stop Lava Spike. Well, oh no. Literally like 4 people mentioned Lava Spike. I'm gonna lose 2 life to prevent 3 damage. Okay. If that's what you think I'll do, then you better learn how to play Magic. Okay, here's a common complaint that me and a lot of other people noticed. They started making comments about it, and this is why it turned into just a shit-throwing competition. Oh, but this will shut down my deck because it stops this. Okay, 1, your deck's fragile. 2, any other counter spell or removal spell can also do the same thing. And 3, it sounds like you're just butthurt over, I can't just go to turn 4 and win every time. It's not fair that I can't win every game. I spent more money than you and my deck's better. Okay, 1, fuck you, and 2, I've seen so many people that's their attitude. Why can't I just get the win? I had the combo cards. I started with the combo, and you stopped it. Well, shut the fuck up, quit whining, and find a way to cover it. I mean, my God, who the fuck guaranteed you that just because you started with your combo that nobody would ever do anything to stop it? Oh, you were about to swing for lethal with Death Shadow next turn, and I killed it with, I don't know, Path to Exile or whatever. Oh, that's not fair. I had the opening combo, and I had the perfect start. Control is part of the game. Get over it and act like a fucking adult. Seriously, I used to play Black Death, which is a very, very powerful control mixed with mono black aggressive deck. with just horrific creatures that you almost always have to kill twice, okay? Amazing creatures with amazing removal that plays around hexproof and indestructible. You should look up the deck. It is quite good. I mean, I wouldn't call it tier 1, but it's good. Like, you'll win some games with it. It gets absolutely obliterated by Affinity and Storm because it, black just doesn't have a way to stop them at all. Like, it doesn't exist in the color black. But anyway, I played it a ton at my old LGS from hell, and oh my god, you take out somebody's Birds of Paradise and, you ruined it, you're playing too much control. Let me translate it, okay? Because they were kind of dancing around the subject because they didn't want to really say it. What they really meant was, I want an easy win. Why aren't you giving me an easy win? Why are you playing control? Wah, 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 wah. Which is like all I heard in the comment section on the last video. People don't want control in Modern. They don't want their stupid degenerate shit deck to get stopped and have to go to turn 5 and 6. They do not want that, and every time it happens, they whine. Every time a card comes out that makes it look like they can't do it, they whine about it. Oh, Fatal Push is gonna ruin Modern because it takes out this, and this. Fatal Push, by the way, way better card in Modern than Mental Misstep, because you can target things, get this, are you ready for this? That cost other things than 1. I feel like I cannot stress this enough. You can only counter spells that cost 1. All right, let's bust the rest of these myths, okay? It's toxic and just horrible and horrific in Legacy, so it'll be the same in Modern. No, a really high volume of really important cards in Legacy and Vintage cost 1. That is just not the case in Modern. I've looked up the highest played 1-cost spells, and there's like 2 of them that I'd be like, yeah, that would suck if they lost that. And it's Delver and Death Shadow. And that's it. Oh, FYI, Path to Exile already takes them out, as does Go for the Throat and like probably 10 other cards. Okay, lightning round. It would make Infect too good. Yeah, because Infect can win with 6 cards in its hand and then Mental Misstep just as well as 7 cards. Sure. Yeah, you'll have enough land and an Infect card and boost spells and Mental Misstep in your first couple turns. Sure you will. That'll happen a whole lot. At least 3% of the time. At least. Maybe 4. And I actually did the math in the last video to prove it, if you think that I'm just estimating that. No, I did the actual math. We also had people in the comment section that complained about my use of math. I don't remember what religion considers like math to be like witchcraft or whatever, but like that's just some brand new kind of retarded. I don't even know how to address that. You can't use just math. You got to use experience in the past. No, you have to use just math, because the only thing that matters when it comes to drawing the correct cards and winning games is math and like decisions, like play decisions, which is also math. If I say a thing like this event is unlikely to happen, and then support it with the exact math and probabilities straight from a hypergeometric calculator, that means that it's provably correct. I mean, nobody refuted. They're just like, literally people are just saying you can't use math. That's not how you do that. And that's it. That's the comment. That's the whole comment. I did not know that people that stupid played Magic and knew how to use the internet. Oh, but then again, I've been to MTG Salvation and Reddit, so nothing surprises me at this point. So to reiterate, the fact that you think you now can have your combo and the lands that you need and a Mental Misstep in hand, and you can now use it to cover your combo, even though your combo can be disrupted by more cards than just ones that cost 1, it's astronomical. It would happen in roughly 1 in 200 games. Where like you have your combo, you have your win condition, then you put it on the field, they don't stop you another way, you also have drawn the Mental Misstep already, and they try to stop you with a Path to Exile, and you stop it with Mental Misstep. And you had the 2 life available without losing the game. All those conditions to be met, you're looking at a 0.5% maximum probability, and that's being super generous. I was actually going to list off a whole list of cards that Mental Misstep doesn't stop, just to outline how useless the card would be, except for like stopping people from doing really obnoxious like control-y crap on turn 1 and 2. But it's like such a long list. Oh, and I got to reiterate one person left in the comments section, okay? Brilliant philosopher here. I'm paraphrasing too to make this more grammatically appropriate, but if you keep getting wrecked by Mental Misstep, don't play 1-cost spells. Just think about that. Mental Misstep is in Modern, okay? Now, what's the side effect? People play 2-cost removals and Lightning Strike instead of Lightning Bolt, and like some kind of weird 2-cost Exile instead of Path Exile. I'm sure that exists. It would push the game up 1 turn, which is what Wizards said they are trying to do. They don't want games to be won on turn 3, and they're honestly not thrilled with them ending on turn 4 with the same combo, the same win condition, the same individual card, even if it's not a combo. So anyway, I'm done talking about this, and I'm definitely done hearing comments about it, because even though like 75% of people were like, yeah, I get it, it wouldn't even be that bad, it would just slow down the game, which is what Wizards said, and it makes sense, you know? It would be a big change, but I get your point, and I understand your logic, and yeah, it'd probably be all right to bring it back. And then there's like the minority of people that just can't get it through the thick fucking skull, and I'm sick of hearing from these fucking idiots. So obviously, comments are disabled for this video because I spent like 2 fucking hours deleting just mountains of stupidity and poorly spelled, incorrect grammatic, just idiot 11-year-old text. Oh god, it's just, it makes me just want humanity to die off in some plague. You know what, fuck it, I'm gonna name him anyway. Doesn't stop Snapcaster Mage, doesn't stop Collective Brutality, doesn't stop Dismember, Street Wraith, let's see, Thought-Knot Seer, Thalia, Gourmet Gangler, Reflector Mage, Tarmogoyf, Walking Ballista, let's go to non-creature. Ooh, I'll give you this one, Expedition Map, that would be really bad if you stop that. Any of the fetch lands doesn't stop those. Cryptic Command, Lightning Helix, Liliana of the Veil, Ancient Grudge, Stony Silence, Rest in Peace, Blood Moon, Sylvan Scrying, Mox Opal, Remand, Rift Bolt, I'm kind of sure, maybe, I don't know about that one, Boros Charm, Chalice of the Void, Skullcrack, Abrupt Decay, Collected Company, Engineered Explosives in most cases, Meddling Mage, which by the way you could name Mental Misstep, Wormcoil Engine, Kitesail Freebooter, Thalia's Lieutenant, Mantis Rider, Bloodgas, Young Pyromancer, Eidolon of the Great Revel, Phantasmal Image, Is It Staticaster, Arcbound Ravager, won't stop that, and people hate that fucking card. Volt Scourge, won't stop that. Actually, I'm not sure about that one. I really should just look up the ruling on that. Steel Overseer, Reality Smasher, Spell Queller, won't stop that. Love that one. That's one of my personal favorites. And like, if it stops a Birds of Paradise, who gives a shit? Just keep playing the fucking game. My god, like, get over it. Doesn't stop Ulamog, doesn't stop Thraidtusk, Endbringer, Hollow One, Primeval Titan, Tassiger, Tireless Tracker, Dark Confidant. You ever heard of that one? People play that. Narcomoeba, that's a classic. Stinkweed Imp, Prized Amalgam, Baral Chief of Compliance, Simian frickin' Spirit Guide. People don't even natural cast that. Actually, I think that's an alternative casting cost, and that would make it CMC1. I'm not sure, and I'm too lazy to look it up. That's the #1 card that pros want banned anyway. Well, that and Blood Moon, they're about tied. So I don't give a shit if this spell stops it. I really don't. So that's the last you're hearing about this, because if people at this point are that fucking stupid, then go ahead and be that stupid. Be that clueless and just keep talking out your ass when it comes to Modern. Keep fronting and pretending like you know what you're talking about because you read a paragraph that some pro player wrote on fucking Tumblr. You are never going to be a good Magic player until you learn how probability and card interactions actually work, how games are actually won, and why decks are actually built the way they are. And I saw the exact opposite all over the comment section last video. So there is just no helping some people. So shut the fuck up about it and peace out, bitches. That's my new video ending, by the way.